If you don't like cricket or you're just plain tired of it, stay tuned, because this isn't really a story about cricket. Rather about a very wealthy, maybe even spoiled young man who until now has been enjoying the best of two possible worlds. Of all the cricketing stars to emerge in the last few years, Imran Khan perhaps best represents the kind of show business hype that now surrounds the game, for better or worse. In England and Australia, he's attracted almost as much press as a sex symbol as he has as an out-of-form all-rounder, which is a little ironic when you consider he comes from one of the most conservative countries in the world. This is not the MCG or Lords. This is a mosque, and this Muslim worshipper is Imran Khan. Pakistan is one of Imran Khan's two worlds. This is the other.
Just below Harvey and Sir Donald Bradley. He's bowled him. What a beautiful delivery that from Imran Khan.
That's up in the air, and Imran takes a very good catch.
The Imran Khan the Western press has dubbed the most glamorous man in sport. Cricket's first genuine sex symbol.
Safely away down to the boundary. 4 more to Imran Khan.
You're quite sheepish about your private life and about your association with women. Are you saying that your reputation as a lady killer is unjustified?
Totally.
Totally? Or are you just not saying?
I've found it very difficult to live with that image. Our fees for the tour, not our expenses, which they pay daily expenses.
Trendy bistros are a far cry from the religious laws that restrict his freedom back home in Islamic Pakistan.
I suppose you'd say that, you know, one goes out at nights and has womanizers and drinks and all that, and when one comes back, one lives a pure Muslim. Well, actually, it doesn't happen like that.
Muslim men seldom romp on beaches. Muslim women never do.
It is actually a dilemma. It's becoming more of a dilemma each day. The thing is, I want to live in Pakistan. To find a girl in the West who's going to, I mean, I might be lucky one day. I mean, maybe I do fall in love with someone who wants to live here. I mean, since it hasn't happened and chances are quite slim, that's why I assume I'm going to have an arranged marriage, because there's no other way to get married in Pakistan.
That other world of Imran Khan, his hometown of Lahore, where the 31-year-old professional cricketer comes between seasons. This crackling radio broadcast from Melbourne is the closest he got to the recent World Cup tie between Australia and the West Indies.
Inside out, swings at this and he clears it away. Behind point, this will be 4 runs. What a shot.
Back home at his old family club, he's cautiously keeping his batting in touch while his stress-fractured shin slowly mends. One of cricket's brightest stars admits there's a very real cloud over his career. How would it affect you personally if your injury was so bad it didn't heal and you weren't able to return to the game the way you played it before?
I think I would have to leave the game then. I'd much rather leave it than keep lingering on. In fact, this past year has been very, in a lot of ways, has made me aware of what I must start thinking of and what I must do if I'm not playing cricket. And I've been trying to prepare myself. I think I'm more equipped now to deal with a life without cricket than it was before. Yellow. Huh? Yellow. Yellow, Shahid? Yellow.
If Lahore has a dress circle, Zaman Park, where Imran Khan grew up, very comfortably, is it. For generations, all the men and boys, brothers and cousins in the cricket-crazy Khan family have picked up their first bat and ball to play on this neighbourhood pitch. Would you say that cricket is in fact a sport of the privileged people in this country?
Not at all. In fact, there are very few people who, from the privileged classes, who actually play cricket. It's basically played by the masses.
Lahore's Aitchison College harks back to the Raj. It also exemplifies that Imran Khan's story is not a rags to riches one. Privilege and opportunity, he admits, have always been his.
I think I had these visions that one day I would suddenly become another Bradman.
That's a fairly modest view you had of yourself, that you thought you might be the next Bradman.
Well, I'll tell you something. When one grows up in very protected environments like HSN and Zaman Park, which is where I was for the first 17 years of my life, and I just, had a very sheltered view, and I thought, since I was better than boys of my own age, it was only natural that once I grew up, I'd be better than everyone else.
How close to being the Bradman of Pakistan do you reckon you became? Or you're likely to become?
Oh, I've given up all hope now. In fact, even now, I think of myself mainly as a bowler who can bat.
So you'd regard yourself at least as being a better bowler than Bradman was?
Well, certainly a better all-rounder.
From the playing fields of Pakistan's Eton to Oxford, where he graduated in politics and economics, as well as cricket. In a way, it's hard to imagine that a man like you, educated as well as you are, and going to Oxford successfully, could find cricket satisfying. Surely there must be frustrations in it for you.
Yeah, actually, a lot of people ask me this, and some of my friends here, they keep, implying that I must be quite stupid, or certainly quite brainless, to, pursue a little red ball all day long.
Azim. Imran Khan. Trouble here, and he's put it down. He may have been worried.
I certainly find that cricket actually involves more of your brain than most other sports I've played or seen.
And the crowd loves it.
There must be people who say to you that ultimately cricket is just a game. It's a pretty childish way for a grown man to earn a living. That they say to you, why don't you go out and get yourself a proper job?
My father says that all the time. Yeah, actually, a lot of people have said that. In fact, my close friends at times say this. And I think it's very difficult to make someone understand who really hasn't played the game. Well, it's certainly, there's so much glamour attached to cricket. It's just like a man from a poor family or poor background or deprived background wanting to be, dreaming of being a film star. It's the same sort of thing. Cricket means glamour and it means finance, also, although they are misled somewhat in that respect. But it certainly means, being in the public eye, and that's one way of becoming a national figure.
Moving about in his own country with Imran Khan, literally a national hero, is not easy. It's even harder for him. In Muslim Pakistan, the ladies' man is strictly a man's man. No giggling girls in Jaharabad. At home, Imran is an idol in a land where poverty and oppression give 82 million Pakistanis little to get excited about. In Western terms, he's a pop star, a movie star, and politician rolled into one. How have you handled the fact that you have become the symbol of that glamorous aspect of the sport?
With mixed feelings. It's had its advantages, yet I've, on occasions, found it hard to cope with it living in Pakistan.
Imran Khan is a Pathan, ruggedly independent tribesman originally from the frontier province near the Khyber Pass. Pathans are riflemen, fighters and hunters.
Pathans have been known to be the only race in the subcontinent that has never been conquered. The British never conquered them. That's what we claim.
So you'd say that they're a very proud people?
Yeah, and they've got a tradition of, being very warlike. The Russians are finding that out.
You're quite obviously a proud man, but it could be said that sometimes your demeanour on and off the field borders on arrogance.
Well, when at first time when people came up with these allegations, I was really shocked. And even now, I've never ever considered myself arrogant, which is what I've been accused of, or a snob. I think it's partly been the reason that I've been very shy. I mean, when I first started playing cricket in front of crowds, I was really embarrassed all the time if I was feeling on the boundary line. You know, if someone said anything to me, I'd just be sort of blushing away, and I just couldn't cope with playing in front of so many people.
Imran Khan is not shy about his privileged life in Lahore. Most Pakistanis do not dine like this, or most Australians for that matter. To suggest that Imran is caught between two worlds, between two absurdly different cultures, is not only obvious, but uncharitable observers might say there's a touch of hypocrisy about his double life. You don't change your moral standards when you come home?
No, not at all. I mean, the culture here has existed much before, you know, when the people in England were living in caves or in the West. And, you know, and therefore, it's not that easy to impose Western values here.
People often talk about a man like you being torn between two cultures, between two value systems. Do you feel that way at all?
The one thing that I have decided is that I want to live in Pakistan. And therefore, I did say that chances are I'm going to have an arranged marriage. Because even if I fall in love with a girl abroad, chances are she's not going to come back and live with me here. Or even if she does, it'll be a very short-term thing. Because it is actually expecting too much for a girl from the West to live in a culture like this.
What can Imran Khan do other than bowl fast and hit a cricket ball pretty hard?
You really make me sound as some sort of an idiot. All I know is that something which I do must have some sort of challenge in life. Because otherwise, I mean, if there's nothing worse when I think of myself, say 4 years later, sitting behind a desk and just, you know, working 9 to 5, picking up a packet of pay at the end of the month. I mean, I'd die, I think.
Hello, I'm Tara Brown. Thanks for watching. To keep up with the latest from 60 Minutes Australia, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also download the 9Now app for full episodes and other exclusive 60 Minutes content.